Welcome to Investors Insights. Our topic today is Women Take the Lead. Ashley, we're in the meeting and you started us off with some information that I think is very positive to share with those watching our vlog today.
Absolutely. For the first time, for a substantive reason ever, in 2020, women in the United States have more job count than men do.
Okay.
Now, that happened once before. We were talking about this morning in 2010 on the backside of the financial crisis, and that was more manufacturing and construction jobs. Men were greatly falling.
Yes.
For the very first time, though, for a good reason in terms of true growth of women in jobs, mostly healthcare, women now will outnumber men in this economy. And the reason that's important, it changes buying patterns, and it also changes input on buying patterns in the home.
Yeah, and on those buying patterns, as consumers spend money, that goes into the economy. That can also impact the markets.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I really enjoyed you sharing that. And then, Trey, you jumped right in there with some jobs data and information that really complimented.
Yeah, the last jobs data of the decade, December jobs came in at plus 140,000. That's not as good as expectations, but still very positive after a very long run of positive jobs. What surprised me was the retail sales jobs. 41,200 new retail jobs. I thought internet was taking care of retail jobs.
Yes.
So it's very good to see that in the shopping season that the retailers had to hire more people. It's the largest growth of any sector in the economy in December. Second was leisure and hospitality. So it shows a very strong consumer, very good spending patterns from both sides. I'm sure 80,000 jobs in retail and leisure and hospitality. So a good close to the year, good close to the decade for the U.S. consumer, and a good sign for future earnings growth from companies. U.S. companies, people got to spend money. That goes into earnings, and that helps the economy and the market.
So in terms of retail and leisure, people usually don't spend that money unless they feel confident about their jobs, unless they feel confident about the economy, and they've got extra money in their pocket.
Right, usually not their last dollar spent.
Yeah, very much so, nor are companies hiring in regards to that. And then last week we had the topic, New Year, deep breath, and so we did that because of what was going on the international scene, all the news headlines that were coming out. We talk about noise in this vlog. And Adam, you brought up a really good point after you heard this information, what a difference a week makes. Talk about that.
Yeah, even before that, we talked about how much difference a decade makes. So within the week, we saw tensions in Iraq change tremendously. We saw a lot of global anxiety around Iran, and over the weekend, Iran comes out and apologizes and said they mistakenly shot down a Ukrainian plane. Now, why is this important? We thought Iran was going to fire back, and now we're starting to see more tensions internally, and there's now protests. This is on the third day of protests, become very violent internally, and they're trying to throw over the regime. So now, in terms of global growth, where's that headed?
Right, yeah, well, and also our phones lit up with people wanting to say, how's this going to impact my portfolio? Yeah. And the reality of it is we said, let's take a deep breath, let's watch events unfold and see if it's really going to impact the U.S. markets as well as the global markets.
Yeah, look, a week later, it looks very much more contained. I think it was the front page news for several days, and now over the weekend you barely could see anything about it. This morning it's nothing.
Yeah, well, that's why we do these vlogs, to get the information to our clients so that they can understand what's actually going on despite the headlines.
And let's not forget, in November, you had 1,500 deaths over protests because of oil changes on a political level. You start to see a very volatile region.
Right. So these news headlines come out, but you need to take time. What's the ultimate economic impact? Obviously, in terms of what Ashley and Trey have just reported, there's still a lot of positive things going on. And then, Bobby, you really complimented what Adam was saying in terms of international. We've had clients asking us, look, the U.S. has done really well. Do I need to be looking at, in terms of international markets, those kind of things? Talk about that.
Yeah, we were bragging 2 weeks ago in the vlog about how strong the U.S. markets were, and we're starting to get some questions from clients, like you said, about should we add international, or what are y'all doing? What are y'all's thoughts on international markets? And basically, it's a hedge against the U.S. election uncertainty. A lot of uncertainty around who's going to be the next president. But also, we're starting to see the global economy kind of turn up a little bit here. So we're starting to see global yields move higher. We got a trade deal hopefully signed on Wednesday. That's going to open up a lot of things, not just with the U.S. and China, but globally. And then one country watching carefully is Germany. Germany. We look to Germany as a leading economic indicator for international. Germany's been in the middle of a China slowdown. They've been in the middle of U.S. threatening auto tariffs, and they've been in the middle of Brexit hurting exports. And so, not all the data coming out of Germany has been good, but it's starting to kind of hit a bottom, we hope. And so we're looking to countries like Germany to see where international markets are, where in the past we've been heavy U.S. because that's where the strength has been.
Tremendous growth.
And then also another thing we're looking at is the U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar has been a lot higher than other currencies around the world because of how strong our economy is. And, hopefully we see some global growth stabilizing over 2020 and see the dollar kind of come down a little bit. At that point, international markets will seem a lot more, from a value standpoint, better.
Yeah, Europe's got the ability to be a positive surprise this year that maybe people are not looking at.
Very much so. And that's the thing. We're always looking for value. We're always looking, through the noise and in keeping people updated about how it impacts their portfolio. So hopefully you've gotten very valuable news here today, information, and know how we are looking at the different pieces of the puzzle as these markets across the globe move around. We're going to keep you updated as always, whether it's through this vlog, our social media, which several of you track, and then of course just the phone conversations, the one-on-ones. We really appreciate you also sharing this vlog with others. We hope you have a great week. We've started off 2020 on the right foot, and we're going to keep an eye as we take steps forward. Thanks.